Hello everybody, welcome back to another video, and in today's video we are going to be doing another update of Washington Dulles International Airport. We've come full circle again. I like to essentially rotate my Washington Dulles updates. We do essentially a morning update, an afternoon update, an evening update, and then we do a United update. So my model airport of Washington Dulles is based on concourses A and B. C and D that I don't have on my model airport, that's where United base all their flights from. So to give United a bit of a chance, every now and again I will come back and essentially just pretend that concourses A and B are concourses C and D and just essentially outfit it with just United aircraft. And so with that being said, we're just going to go ahead and start off here with this United Boeing 757-200. This aircraft is going to be heading out to Dublin in Ireland. Next up here we have another United Boeing 757-200. This one, however, is in the Her Art Here special livery. This one is in the New York livery. They have two of these. They have the New York livery and the California livery. So this one is the New York livery. This one is, I think, the better one out of the two. And this one is going to be heading out to San Diego in California today. Next here we have a long-awaited aircraft into one of these updates. We have the United Boeing 767-400. This one is the Gemini Jets version. I do also have two of the NG versions on order. I was really hoping to add them into this update, but they've been on order for 6 months now, and so I'm kind of losing hope whether I'm actually going to receive them or not. So I'm glad I actually went for this Gemini Jets one, so at least I have one in my collection, because the 767-400s are flying a lot into Washington Dulles. There's so many cool and unique destinations that they are flying to that I would just love to go through. But this one is going to be heading out to Honolulu in Hawaii. Again, that's one of the domestic services on board the 767. However, it's quite a long domestic service. I believe it's around a 9 or 10 hour flight over to Honolulu. But then next here with the -300 version of the 767, and this one is in the older color scheme. This one is going to be heading out to Rome in Italy. And finishing off the row of 757s and 767s, here we have this United Boeing 767-300 in the newer color scheme. This one is going to be heading out to Munich in Germany. Of course, I love the look of the 757s and the 767s, and United operates so many of these still. Unfortunately, United have announced that both the 757 and the 767 of all variants will be retired by 2030, which is really sad, but we still do have a good quite a few more years left with both the 757 and the 767 in service. But yeah, this 767, as I said, is going to be heading out to Munich in Germany. Next up here we have this United Boeing 777-200ER. This one is in the Star Alliance livery, and this one is going to be heading out to Paris Charles de Gaulle in France. Moving over to the Express section now, here we have this United Express Embraer E175. This one has just arrived in from Cincinnati in Ohio and is going to be heading out to Louisville in Kentucky. We then have this United Express Embraer E170 in the older color scheme. This one has just arrived in from Philadelphia in Pennsylvania and is going to be heading out to Providence in Rhode Island. And then last but not least, for the Embraers, here we have this United Express Embraer E175. This one has just arrived in from Norfolk in Virginia and is going to be heading out to Burlington in Vermont. Next over here we have the United Express area. On the left we have 3 CRJ-200s, and on the right we have 3 CRJ-550s. Of course, the only main United Express aircraft that I'm missing is the ERJ-145. I really want to get a few of them into these updates in the future, but until then we're just stuck with the 200s and the 550s. So starting off on the left, we have 3 CRJ-200s here, and the one furthest away just arrived in from Albany in New York and is going to be heading out to State College in Pennsylvania. The one in the middle just arrived in from Johnstown in Pennsylvania and is going to be heading out to Syracuse in New York. And the last one closest to the camera has just arrived in from Harrisburg in Pennsylvania and is going to be heading out to Knoxville in Tennessee. Then over here with the CRJ-550, starting off with the one that's furthest away. This one has arrived in from Newark, New Jersey and is going to be heading out to Ottawa in Canada. The one in the middle has arrived in from Richmond in Virginia and is going to be heading up to Buffalo in New York, and the one closest to the camera has just arrived in from Indianapolis in Indiana and is going to be heading out to Roanoke in Virginia. Moving around to the domestic main lines, here we have this United Airbus A320 in the older color scheme. This one is going to be heading out to New Orleans in Louisiana. We then have a United Boeing 737 MAX 8. This one is going to be heading out to Phoenix in Arizona. We then have a United Boeing 737-900ER. This one is going to be heading out to Portland in Oregon. We then have another United Boeing 737 MAX 8. This one is going to be heading out to Las Vegas in Nevada. And last but not least, for this section, we have this United Airbus A319. This one is going to be heading out to Atlanta, Hartsfield Jackson in Georgia. Next up here, moving back over to the wide bodies, here we have this United Boeing 787-9. This one is going to be heading out to Johannesburg in South Africa. Again, I think this route is usually on the 777, but I'm sort of making an exception for this one. Next, here we have this United Airbus A321neo. This aircraft is going to be heading out to Los Angeles in California. And next up here, we have this United Boeing 777-200. This is the non-ER variant of the 200, and this one is going to be heading out to San Francisco in California. Then last but not least, just taxiing onto the runway, we have this British Airways Airbus A350-1000. This one is going to be heading out to London Heathrow. Of course, it's really nice to see the A350 back with BA. The last time we had the A350 flying to Washington Dulles was during the COVID period, so it's really cool to have this aircraft back. But just like that, that does conclude today's update of Washington Dulles International Airport. But before I go, I wanted to quickly discuss some of the new United international routes for 2025. These were announced quite a few months ago now, but I figured I would go over some of these because some of them are crazy. From Washington Dulles, it's not super crazy. We're getting 3 new international flights from Washington Dulles in 2025, including Dakar in Senegal, which is going to be really cool. That's going to be a year-round service, probably, I would imagine, on the 787-8. And then we're getting seasonal services to Nice in France and Venice in Italy, which I'm going to imagine will probably be on the 767-300s. I would say, I'm not too sure on that. But then of course, on top of Washington Dulles, United are also starting service from Newark to various different places like Faro. Bilbao was a very surprising one because that's quite a relatively small airport. But then there are some really interesting ones. The 2 routes that really interested me were Nuuk in Greenland. United are going to start flying from Newark to Nuuk on the 737 MAX 8, which is really cool. Of course, Nuuk have just opened a new terminal at their airport, so they're getting a couple new airlines into there, such as Scandinavian. They're starting to fly into Nuuk as well from Copenhagen, and now United from Newark as well, which is really cool. I think judging on the success that Iceland has seen over the last 20-30 years of international air travel and also tourism as well, I can see sort of Greenland becoming essentially like the new Iceland over the next 20-30 years. I think that a lot of different airlines are going to start servicing Nuuk with this new airport terminal, and I would love to go there eventually. But then the second route that really interested me is United are going to be starting service, and I believe they're the first American airline ever to service the country of Mongolia. Now, I might butcher the name of their capital city. It's Ulaanbaatar. I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce it. But they're going to be starting service to Mongolia on the 737. Now, how that works is, of course, with the hub that they have in Guam going through Tokyo, they're going to start flights, essentially almost, I believe, a milk run flight from Guam to Tokyo and then on from Tokyo to Mongolia on their 737s, which is crazy. I never thought that would be the case, but United are very good at this sort of international tourism type travel where they start these new routes to places and you just think, God, I gotta make the most of that and fly that route. I would love to go to Mongolia. I've been to Kazakhstan, so Mongolia is its next door neighbor basically, and that would be an incredible flight to fly on a 737, a United 737 in Asia. And then of course Greenland, as I mentioned, I would love to go there as well, but we'll see what happens. And so with that does conclude today's update of Washington Dulles International Airport. I hope you enjoyed, and with that I want to thank you very much for watching today's video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.